Almost 36 hotel middle managers started the day with a job. By noon, they had their walking papers. ZNS News on the scene as it goes down. And then, Junkanoo in Peach Country.
We may be at the Mandarin Oriental, but it was all about the Bahamas last night. The details at 7.
Find out how much heat they brought to Hotlanta. And then, the Humane Society works to get stray dogs off the streets and into homes. Also, the Urban Renewal Band strikes it up in Washington, D.C. We're there. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley. Topping the news tonight, the largest private employer in the country is downsizing, leading to more job losses in the tourism sector. Cleopatra Murphy spoke with the Director of Labor, Robert Farquharson, about the job cuts and whether or not more should be expected. He also addressed rumors of layoffs at another property.
30 middle management staff at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort have been laid off, their terminations becoming effective today. Sources tell ZNS News that in that group were 3 vice presidents who reportedly earned a combined salary of more than $400,000 a year. Director of Labor Robert Farquharson says labor officials were apprised of the pending layoffs last week. He says Atlantis executives have cited planned renovations at the Coral and Beach Towers as the reason for the redundancies.
It's about a little over $30 million investment. Approximately 450 employees are assigned to that tower. The company has decided to utilize the services of those 450 employees in a variety of ways, including in other areas of the resort and for those who choose to work on the construction site itself.
Farquharson says construction is set to begin in May and be completed in December. He says once reopened, the line staff will return, assuring there are no additional layoffs planned at the resort that employs more than 8,000. In the meantime, Farquharson says those managers made redundant have been compensated.
We were able to confirm that the persons who will be made redundant have been paid all of their statutory entitlements as outlined in the law and their contract of employment. And we encourage those persons, if they do feel that they were not paid, they can come and see us here at the Department of Labor.
ZNS News reached out to Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union President Nicole Martin for comment. This was her response.
There is nothing that I care to comment about as it relates to what is happening. It does not affect my people, so I think you should probably contact the hotel.
We also received reports that some 75 employees of the Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort were set to be let go. Sandals officials and the Director of Labor both denied those claims.
We have been in constant dialogue on different areas with staff at Sandals, and the management has given us no intention at this time to lay off any staff.
As for those terminated from Atlantis, Farquharson urged that they register with the Department of Labor, as officials know of several other properties they believe will require qualified management and line staff in the near future. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
The country's controversy surrounding fashion designer Peter Nygaard continued to take center stage in Parliament last evening as debate continued on the mid-year budget. On Monday, Prime Minister Perry Christie announced that a police investigation into the allegations is underway. Meantime, Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner took issue with comments purportedly made by Nygaard in audio clips made public.
The status of a permanent residency. They can come in here and do all these things. There's got to be something wrong with that, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Prime Minister Perry Christie continued to defend his character, noting that on his part, no wrongdoing has taken place.
I reiterate, Mr. Speaker, every decision I have made will be open to public scrutiny. And I stand on the position I took in this House that the people of the Bahamas would appreciate that their Prime Minister has acted properly and in the best interest of the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Now, Butler Turner's comments also drew a response from Deputy Prime Minister Philip Davis.
She now brings in this question about the funding of the election with the Prime Minister. See, they were tying the funding of the election to this supposedly unsavory character having us in his pocket. And now that is out there in the public, that no, this was not. It was not the case. Yes, he may have contributed to the PLP, but he ain't got the PLP in his pocket.
The mid-year budget continued this morning with the Member of Parliament for Nassau Village, Dion Smith, commending the government for the country's current fiscal plan. Smith went on to highlight the need for a third pillar in the economy, agriculture.
The best possible new economic pillar, Mr. Speaker, lies in the sound development of a diverse agricultural sector. My experience and the knowledge I have gained as Executive Chairman of BAIC has further convinced me that a sustainable economy in the agricultural sector is not only possible, but it's economically viable. Mr. Speaker, it is both irrational and irresponsible for a nation to look to others to grow its food.
From the opposition, Member of Parliament for North Eleuthera, Theo Neely, criticized the government for not creating more jobs. He says a number of his constituents have had to resort to extreme measures to make a living.
The island communities are dying because of the lack of jobs. I speak for the people in Eleuthera. The reality is there are persons that are traveling still from James Houston and Hatchet Bay in the tourism sector to work in Harbour Island on a daily basis, Mr. Speaker. There are others that are traveling as far as Palmetto Point and Rock Sound, and reports of a gentleman that's hiking all the way from Waterford to try and get all the way down to Harbour Island to make an honest day's living, to work.